All right, the room is full, the stage is set. I think we're ready. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the Secretary, Marybel Batjer. I'd like to thank our executive sponsor for having the vision and passion to make an event like this a reality. Now you can do that. Just a little background. Secretary Batjer has directly served 4 governors in 2 states in various roles, including as Chief of Staff, Cabinet Secretary, Undersecretary, and Chief Deputy Director. She's also held key advisory roles in 2 U.S. presidential administrations, serving at the National Security Council and at the Pentagon in various positions over 12 years. Prior to her appointment, Batjer was the Vice President of Public Policy and Corporate Social Responsibility for a large entertainment company. This combined public and private sector experience made her the perfect choice to head the newly formed California Government Operations Agency. She was appointed the first ever secretary of this agency by Governor Edmund G. Jr. in June of 2013. Since then, she has made it her mission to bring more effective process to state government. This year, she's leading the charge on improving the state's civil service system in order to make California an employer of choice. And I can tell you, after experiencing the passion with which she approached this event, she is definitely the right person in the right job at the right time. Please join me in welcoming Secretary Marybel Batjer.
Thanks so much, Russ. This is awesome. I can't believe you're all here. This is really great. Russ said we usually get about 200, 300 people to our events, and I said that won't do. That will not do. We have got to offer up an agenda and get the interest and make sure it's valuable for folks. So it is truly an honor to be with you today and to join with public sector partners as host of a day focused all around government transformation. I'm glad to see so many people here. It is awesome. My #1 rule, however, about these events is that they be worth your while and your valuable time. I believe the program we have today, with so many talented speakers from various backgrounds and experiences, will really prove informative to you. It's my hope that you take some of the things you hear and learn about today and go back to your offices, carry on the conversation, and indeed apply some of the ideas. This event is one of a series that Government Operations Agency has held over the past year, and that I hope you will continue to be a part of, to encourage thinking about how we can improve and modernize state government. That is one of the central goals of Government Operations Agency, which was created, as Russ said, in July of 2013. We are working with the departments and boards within the agency, including the Department of General Services, the Department of Technology, Franchise Tax Board, CalPERS, and CalSTRS, to bring more efficient processes to state government. And with the release of Governor Brown's budget, we are working closely with CalHR and the State Personnel Board to recommend and make improvements to the civil service system. Yahoo! We want to make California government the employer of choice in this state. But right now, as you all know, with the convoluted classifications and Byzantine hiring process, we are far from it. And we certainly aren't equipped to attract the millenniums who soon will make up the majority of our workforce. That's why I am pleased we have sessions today on mentoring the next generation and becoming the destination workplace. The millennials are a next generation of workers. They were born between about 1982 and 2000. Right now, they comprise about 25% of the national workforce. However, by 2025, just 10 years from now, a full 75% of the United States workforce will be millennials. 50% of those we hired here in the state of California last year were millennials. What makes the millennials such an important generation? Well, like the baby movers, there are a lot of them. Those two generations dwarf the one that comes between, the Gen Xers. That means the employers will be facing a leadership gap, and it is the millennials who will be sought after to fill that gap. So, we look ahead to the millennials becoming a majority part of our workforce. It is no secret we need to change our thinking and indeed many of the processes of government. Government that operates behind closed doors and within gray cubicles is quickly becoming the thing of the past. Open data and modern technology is changing the way we do business. So when we gather for discussions today, a huge part of us will provide tools to make transformation a huge success. Our session on the customer service experience is all about taking a paper-driven, labor-intensive process and making it a more customized, data-driven process. The millennials who are coming into the workforce and the generation behind them are used to customization in a totally digital world. They see the news they want on Twitter, they buy only the songs they want on iTunes, and can search the internet in seconds for content that fills their professional and personal lives. The world and how it operates is entirely different to the millennials than the boomers. And indeed, who is managing the millennials today? The boomers. Just think about that. So they think about how we currently recruit, or I want you to think about how we currently recruit, test, interview, hire, train in state government. How in the world does our current civil service process relate to the millennials' digital world? And this is what we in this room have to start thinking about. It will be disruptive for us in government and for our partners in the private sector who will help us design and build the systems that deliver government services. But it is happening right before our eyes. In Boston, responding to last month's blizzard, the city put up an app that could tell the residents when their streets were being plowed, allowed them to track the city's progress street by street. Aunt Bertha, an application developed by fellows through San Francisco's Code for America, allows residents to use open data to find food, health, housing, job programs based on their zip code. Open Counter, started in Santa Cruz, allows residents to track their business permits through the approval process and allows city employees to do the same. Here at the state of California, our Department of Motor Vehicles has developed a mobile app for designated drivers to find a welcoming place to hang out until it's time to take their friends home. Governments benefit as well. Take MuniRent. I love this idea. An application that allows local governments to lease heavy equipment from other local governments. Sharing resources means that counties and cities don't have to buy as many dump trucks and backhoes. You may have read about the local library system here in Sacramento, which is going to start lending not just books, but sewing machines and power tools. New technology is also starting new kinds of civic discussion. Nextdoor, something all of us use, a neighborhood-based application takes neighbors' watch to a whole new level. Neighbors hear about lost cats and trade tips on babysitters and warn each other of suspicious people. And local police are listening and joining in on the conversation, whether it is briefing on a subject or a topic that is of concern in the neighborhood or offering specific tips on crime prevention. This is the new civic engagement. Citizens are engaging government through technology and expect the same in return. The United Kingdom is taking on this challenge through the creation of the Government Digital Service with the goal of making government services digital by default. Part of the goal is making government services simpler and more streamlined to help those without digital skills or access gain the same benefits. The White House is also doing some important innovations. It has hired Mickey Dickerson from Google, the man who led the team to turn around the healthcare.gov launch to start U.S. Digital Service. The U.S. Digital Service, being developed by an innovation group within the Office of Management and Budget, is focusing on consulting with government agencies to help them create online-based approaches to serving the people and businesses. By the way, a lot of the people who are doing these innovations at the federal level are from where? California. Again, the White House also hired Megan Smith as Chief Technology Officer of the United States. She led Google's Google X project, which is Google's unit devoted to making major technological advances, moonshots such as the driverless car. What would the discussion look like here? Talk about transformation, and probably more than a little bit disruptive, and we need to do it. Everything we are learning about today is important. Better customer service, transparency, more effective teaming of state and its business partners, overhauling procurement, better organizational performance. But the goal line is moving, and expectations are changing. We know what those expectations are because we have them in our own private lives. Our keynote speaker, Bill Eggers, who is a leading authority on government transformation, will be painting a picture of government in 2020. And by so doing, will challenge all of us, private and public sector folks, to realize we must change and grab a hold of the innovations and make more of them for our customers and our citizens. There's no time to waste. As I said, the millennials will be 75% of our workforce in just 10 years. You've got to listen to Bill today. He's absolutely fantastic. He has some great ideas. So I am thrilled we are here today to think more about transforming government for a new generation of workers, which will benefit us, all of the people of California. I'm also excited that we are doing something here today that, as far as I know, has not been done before. We are presenting an award of excellence for government transformation. In just a minute, we will hear from 5 finalists, and then we will announce the winner at the end of the day. We came up with this idea because we all know there is plenty of bad news in state government, but we in this room know that there is a lot of good work being done that just isn't getting noticed. So we invited the entries of projects that highlighted some of those good works throughout government. We were thrilled with the number of entries we received, and each project was evaluated on effectiveness, elimination of waste, sustainability, and collaboration. So now we're going to hear from the 5 finalists, and while there will be only one winner, I am glad we are hearing from all 5 because they can teach us something about how we look at what we do and how we can reevaluate it and hopefully improve it. Joining me as judges for this event, and I'm going to introduce them, hold your applause, and then after I'm done introducing them, I'm going to ask my sweet friends and colleagues to come and join me here. So let me introduce first, and then we'll let them come to the stage. First, Diane Vonderpot, Undersecretary of Veterans Home at the California Department of Veterans Affairs. Diane is a retired colonel and 30-year U.S. Army veteran who served in a variety of positions around the world. She served as a community commander in Heidelberg, Germany, worked toward Iraq reconciliation in Baghdad, and deployed to Kuwait for the initial phases of Operation Enduring Freedom. Her final posting was in the Pentagon as a senior policy officer for arms control in the Office of the Secretary of Defense. Her devotion to soldiers drove her to find an opportunity to support her fellow veterans. For the past 18 months, she has served as the Undersecretary for Veterans Homes in California Department of Veterans Affairs, where she oversees 8 veterans homes that care for 2,000 retired service members. Also joining us is Matt Cate, who has been Executive Director of the California State Association of Counties since October 2012. He served as Secretary of the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation under both Governor Schwarzenegger and Governor Brown. In that capacity, Matt was instrumental in designing and implementing sweeping reforms to the department that resulted in reduced recidivism, the end of prison overcrowding crisis, reduced prison spending, and the historic realignment of many of the public safety services from the state to the county. As Executive Director of CSAC, he is indeed reaping what he has helped sow. He has been directly involved in virtually every aspect of the largest reforms in California. Matt has also served as a California Inspector General, Deputy Attorney General at the California Department of Justice, and Special Assistant United States Attorney, and as Deputy District Attorney for Sacramento County. He is currently a Law and Policy Fellow at Stanford Law School and a member of the Public Policy Institute of California State Leadership. I am very fortunate to call Matt and Diane both my friends and colleagues. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage.